Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Let me know if you can hear me okay, if you're here, if you're tuning in live, if you're here from the boot camp train, if you are a boot camper, if you are here joining us from the Sing Together, Learn Together boot camp, let me know in the comments, say boot camper, so that I know you're here. And welcome to this episode. Have you ever wondered what life as a professional singer-songwriter is really like, especially in today's world? Or are you maybe an aspiring singer who's looking to craft your own vocal style and creative space in today's world of music, but maybe you don't know where to begin? Or do you just love to sing and you want to be inspired by somebody who is just as passionate as you are about singing and about music? Then if you are any of these things, then stick around because you will love this episode. I'm going to jump in real quick to the comments here. Boot camper, hello. Love having you all here. And hey, if you are an Inner Circle member and you're joining me here, say Inner Circle. Inner Circle, let me know you're here. Give me some love. Hello, boot camper Alexico. Love that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so my name is Crystal Diaz. I'm a singer, vocal coach, and co-founder of the Online Vocal Academy. And so this episode here is brought to you by the Online Vocal Academy Inner Circle, which is a monthly membership program. It's a monthly membership training program designed for people who love to sing and want to go from feeling unsure or frustrated about their voices to becoming confident stage or camera ready vocal performers. So if this sounds like you, I invite you to join me and this growing international community of incredibly passionate singers from all levels and backgrounds and top vocal coaches. Yes, top vocal coaches are at your fingertips when you join the Inner Circle. You get weekly coaching, monthly challenges, access to your own mentor coach, your own personal mentor coach, and you get access to our library of vocal exercises and bonus trainings. Plus, you get instant access to my Easy Vocal Technique Formula training course, which I am so proud of. I'm telling you, if you do this course and it doesn't give you results that you can notice in the first month, I will refund you 100%. All right, enrollment for the Inner Circle opens tomorrow, August 22nd, and ends on Wednesday, the 26th. We don't keep the doors open forever. So this is the window if you want to join us. So click on the link in the description box to join our email list. And you'll get instant access to the free bootcamp training that I've been running this past week. And so you see that there's a bunch of bootcampers here right now that are joining us here for this live interview. What's going to happen is if you join that email list, if you click this link in the description box, you join that email list, you get instant access to that private Facebook group. You'll get to watch all of the replays of the 3 workshops that I've just delivered. Okay, before they get taken down. Okay, so they're going to get taken down on Wednesday. So if you want access to all the great feedback and trainings that I've been doing this whole past week, you can check out the replays by clicking on that link before they get taken down on Wednesday. There's a lot of really great stuff in those workshops. I really want to encourage you to check it out. Okay, so with that said, I am so honored to welcome my guest today. I've been working with this guest on her vocals for quite a while now. And I remember when we first met and she and her singing partner came to me for vocal lessons. And I mean, I felt we totally hit it off. We would have these incredibly long conversations about everything under the sun. And I'm so thrilled to call her a friend. And Robynn Yip is an independent singer-songwriter, previously known to be a part of the universal music duo Robynn and Kendi from Hong Kong, Robynn and Kendi. So she's released 6 albums under the duo and headlined several concerts since their official debut in 2012, following their viral cover videos on YouTube in 2011. You can still check out those early YouTube videos right now. Now, in 2014, they also competed in the season 3 of The Voice of China. And since April of this year, Robynn launched her independent solo career and has released 2 singles so far, Lost Forever and the 5th of May. And links to those songs are in the description box below as well. So with that, let's give a very, very, very warm welcome to Robynn. Woohoo! Let me bring her up here. Share my screen. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Welcome. Thank you so much for spending your time here. Hey, let me just check out here in the campaign inner circle here, Raniel. Hey, Raniel, love to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And hello, love Crystal and Jean. Thanks. Inner circle is awesome. Singing can be speedy. And Elle, you have a fan here. Robynn, I loved Robynn Yip's song you shared on the Facebook group. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to know her. Yes, I shared your song into the bootcamp Facebook group, and yeah, everyone's excited to meet you here. Okay.
Thank you. We're very excited to be here too. And I'm actually honestly a little nervous because you have I'm sure you have a lot of talented singers here. So me sharing feels like kind of a
Don't crazy. Don't be crazy. Okay. So I think, I was thinking back, I was trying to remember when we first met. I think it was 2013.
I don't want to expose, just how old I feel right now, but I feel like we've met for like 10 years. Like, I think it's been a decade.
I think it's been, almost, right? I think so.
Yeah.
I think you're way longer than that. I remember you came to my, I did a show in the French Club, pregnant.
Yes.
I have a photo.
Yes.
I have that. I should have brought that to this interview. I have a photo of you and Kendi at that show in the French Club, and I was like pregnant.
Well, now it's my turn.
I know, that was your turn. That's what I was saying. And I remember that photo. I want to share that with you later on. I have it on my phone.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, sure.
It was really cool. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, they were there. Okay, so it's been incredible for me to witness your journey of just this growth and transformation, not just vocally, but creatively as well. So, I really want to talk about what's going on with you now and in the near future. But first, I'd love for you to share with us, what led you to your career as a singer? Is it something that you've always known that you wanted to do? What was that journey like for you?
So I led an a cappella group back in college. I also did a lot of extracurriculars revolving around music. Started writing songs when I was a teenager. And it just never occurred to me that I could make this or turn this into a career. It never, ever just came across my mind. I had my studies and I had, I was gonna do something completely different.
What were you gonna do?
I was going to be like a psychologist. I was going to be like a child psychologist. I was a psychology major. Huh?
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. So I just kind of, when I graduated, I just kind of did music on the side as a hobby during my full-time job. And I worked full-time for 3 years before I kind of started doing these YouTube videos that became popular. And then one thing just led to another with YouTube and just with just gigging in small venues, live houses. And then you just build this network and then you meet people and then one thing led to another. And then I'm here and I've have done all the things that you've listed just now. And I, just listening to it, out loud sounds kind of amazing and crazy. And yeah,
absolutely amazing. So how did you and Kendi meet? Is that something that through YouTube? What happened there?
We just had a lot of mutual friends, like musically, when you gig and when you just kind of do this indie music thing in the very beginning. You just meet these people, and at that point, Kendi, she was studying in the UK, and then she came back to Hong Kong, and then she just wanted to meet different people, and then so we met, and then we jammed, and then we really hit it off. So and then Robynn and Kendi happened, and the rest is history.
Amazing. I think that's the thing though, right? Is that music does bring people together and you don't really know, like for you had no idea that you were gonna kind of go this far with it. You were set path to becoming a child psychologist, right? And
I'm very shy. I'm very introverted. And I'm very insecure. I'm I am super insecure. It took me so many years to actually trust my voice and trust what my instrument can do. So I really hope that, for your students here today and for just everybody who really loves singing, who don't believe in themselves quite yet, that, they can hear from somebody who's gone through it and is still growing through it. You have ups and downs. You have days where you still feel like you cannot sing for your life, but oh please. No, no, but yeah, so I'm very happy and excited and honored to be able to share with you and your students. And yeah, I hope that you guys, everybody here, can get something out of this as well.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, one of the things for sure is confidence and mindset and the beliefs that we have to have and we have to strengthen in ourselves. And as you know, like learning to sing sometimes is a lot to do with just getting out of your own way, right? Stop psyching yourself out,
Yeah.
right? To singing, to release your voice. I literally just came from this conversation in the boot camper training that we get in our own way, and sometimes we are all capable of far more than we realize. And I love that you share that, because it absolutely resonates with everything that we've been talking about this week. So thank you for that. So I'd like to know, looking back, because we were talking about, how you started out in your career, looking back from this vantage point of where you are today, within all your wisdom and all your experience that you've gained over the years of this incredible career, how would you describe your experience of those 8 years in Robynn and Kendi? We talked about some ups and downs, but in a nutshell, how would you describe that experience?
I think it's there's a lot of things that are unexpected. There are a lot of situations that you just kind of get thrown into, and then you kind of have to fake it till you make it. And the thing that I learned the most is just really reminding myself to just sometimes sometimes I come to you, and then I do my drills, I do my practices, but when you're on stage, you kind of have to throw all of that out the window, and you kind of have to forget about it for the however many minutes or however many hours that you're on stage for, and just tell a story. I think with just the next level of, like, on top of just being able to do the technical stuff well, even if you have a little bit of a slip up, or even if, like, the sound engineer, the sound guy is not, you're not hearing yourself or whatever it is, it's like the confidence that you exude, and the ability to just really enjoy your performance. And I think that it's a constant struggle for artists, especially when it's very inconsistent. Whatever settings, the setup can be very, very different depending on where you are or where you're performing. So I constantly have to remind myself that also. And I think that is the most, that is the best, that is the thing that I learned that I still need to continue to learn, because it's like, yeah, it's just a lot of unexpected things and situations and scenarios that kind of get thrown your way. Yeah. I've had one experience where all the electricity just suddenly just shut off, like mics and lights and everything. And then I just sang everything with my guitar completely acoustically with no plug-in, because it was just, yeah.
That's in the show, like while you were in the middle.
It was a school tour. Yeah, okay. It was a school tour. So it was like those stadium halls, and it's kind of crummy looking. It's kind of like old, and then, like, the setting is kind of there's just the students are just kind of manning the panels, and then just nobody knew what happened. But that is the moment when you can shine, really. Kendi and I, we just continued, and then we just sang, and then we just belted it out. And then the audience, they can feel that confidence, and they can feel that energy that you're trying to throw out there even more, and they really appreciate it. I feel
that makes it even more special, though, right? Because that's the thing with the live performances and live shows, whether it's musical theater or it's like a concert, you have that immediacy, that sense of that you are sharing this experience with each other. That is now that is happening in the same space, in the same time. And that is so incredibly special. So when those little moments happen that reinforce that immediacy and that this is happening now, I think that creates that bond. It creates a more of a shared experience. That's what makes it memorable, I think, right? Is when you get that look like, oh my God, that just happened like right here and I witnessed it, right? And you pulled through. So I think that, that's definitely something that a lot of people would be fazed by, for sure. You imagine everything shuts off. Some artists may have chosen to just, okay, we're not doing this anymore, and just walked off. You continued and made the moment even more special. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Would you say that was one of the biggest challenges? You talked about lots of ups and downs and the lessons that you've learned. But I mean, is there something that really does stick out in terms of an overall challenge that you experienced in your career? And what was that big lesson that you learned? We talked about the lessons, and there's good and bad. But is there one particular moment that has really stuck to you and taught you like the biggest lesson?
I think taking matters into your own hands and being able to focus on what you can control yourself as opposed to what you cannot control. Being part of a label, the great thing is that you have the support, but the downside sometimes is that there's a lot of things that are out of your control. The scheduling of your releases, the whether or not you get funding for a certain thing, or or just people politics or whatever it may be. So you kind of, as a singer-songwriter and as an artist, it's not just about the music. It's also people skills. It's a lot of patience. It's a lot of hard work when nobody can see you working hard. It's a lot of rejection. Like, I've written 50 demos only to have 2 being taken. And it's, yeah, it's a lot of that. So just having thick skin and being able to just pull through and stay passionate and stay, true to your craft is something that is the most important. And I think that there was one point leading up to our main ticket selling concert back in 2017 or 16, I think 17. I just trained like a robot vocally every day. And I still remember those days. I had this chart, and then I had check boxes of, vocal training, guitar training, whatever training, because I just needed laser focus. I just needed to prove everybody wrong. Everybody that ever doubted me, everybody that ever said that we're just, all that and whatever, or put you in a category or a box. And I look back and then I'm like, wow, I don't think I can do that right now. But, it is great when you have that feeling, that exhilarating feeling of, when the concert's done and everybody loved it and people really enjoyed the show, then it makes everything worth it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I remember those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, you were very, very, very laser focused. And what's interesting is what you're talking about, how people don't see the flops, right? They don't see the mistakes. They don't see the failures, right? And I think that that's one of the things that kept coming up in not just the inner circle, but also in the boot camp, is that confidence of being heard, that fear of like, well, what if, I'm not perfect? And the truth is, none of us, we are all not perfect. We have lots of failures. We sing the wrong notes. That has happened to me countless of times. I remember one time I was performing and I completely blanked on the lyrics. I had to make it up on the spot.
That has definitely happened to like everyone on the face of the planet. That is not.
I don't know what the next line is, so I'm just gonna make it up.
The thing with duos is that, like, when you mess up your lyric and they're harmonizing with you, it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
Once too, I was a guest on another person's show, and he's he's legend, one of the legendary singers, and I was a guest on his show, and he had changed some of the lyrics, but I didn't know what he was going, and I was harmonizing with him, so I was like lip reading him. I was like, sure, what the lyric is next. You're there as a guest, right? You want to make your role is to make them look good. So, but yeah, that does happen all the time, and you just kind of go with it, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm going to jump in. I have a couple comments here. I just wanted to say hello, Sibo. Hello, someone said Kalpana. I don't think that, Robyn, you can see these, right? But
Oh, I can.
Oh, you can. Okay, great. Very inspiring.
I have some fan club members in here too.
Oh, you do.
Hello,
we are an international community. Jasmine TV, hello. I love that you're here. Thank you. Okay, El Park Robyn, what were your milestones when you were training so much in those days? What were your milestones when you were training?
I think I have realized that it's really like you can really feel like it's it, but then when you actually train, you realize that your vocal cords really are muscles. I mean, they really are muscles. And Crystal is like my personal trainer. And then so I go to my personal trainer and then I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm doing. And then she's like, okay, so this is what you got to do to like go to the next level. And then you go home and you practice and you train to strengthen up the muscle. And without you even thinking about it and without you even trying, because sometimes when you sing and you try, it's people can tell.
Yeah.
Versus if you already trained up your muscle and then you're just performing and telling your story, that is like another level. Like there are a lot of times when I work with producers and then the way they say, because they're not necessarily vocal coaches themselves or they're not necessarily singers themselves, but then they would have this comment that at the beginning I would be like, what are you saying? But now I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying, which is don't do the singing thing so much. Like at first I was like, what are you talking about? I am singing. But what they mean is that like don't look like you're trying. Make it look like it's natural. Look like you're just talking. Yeah. Look like, especially in pop singing, you want to just tell your story and you want to just kind of put it out there like it's nothing. Even though it is something, you've trained for it. But then I think that I was the most natural and I was the most genuine when I've already put in the work and I've already trained, in my own time, doing the most boring things, the most boring scales.
I know.
So I think, that those were my milestones, I would say.
I love that you talked about the gym, like personal trainer analogy, because literally in the workshop 3 that I just delivered an hour ago, I talked about the exact same thing about how you do have to treat yourself like a vocal athlete. You got to go to the gym. You got at some point, at some stage, as you go through this journey, you're going to want some feedback because you're not going to be able to see all the things that you're doing that is actually getting in the way of your voice. And I love how you put it about don't do the singing thing, because I mean, it's true. You don't want to try to sing. You just want to you just want to be that, right? And tell your story the way that you want to. And oftentimes when learning to sing, it's not about trying to create sounds that is not you, like somebody else's sounds, but it's rather removing those things, those bad habits, those things that you're doing yourself that's getting in the way of you being able to just tell your story. So I love that you said that. Because it's so true, and it totally echoes what the conversations that we've been having in the bootcamp training as well. Thank you for asking that, Elle, who happens to be in the bootcamp. All right, I'd love to know, you launched in April, you launched your solo career. Congratulations, amazing. And can you take us behind the scenes a little bit about what led up to that decision of launching your solo career? What was your thought process or challenges around this transition?
I think as a singer-songwriter, I think every singer-songwriter is a storyteller. And then I think that for me, I just felt like it was the right timing. The fact that my contract term was ending and the fact that I was in a certain stage in my career and in my life where I, could have a chance to tell stories in a different manner. And then my partner can have a chance to tell stories in a different manner. So we decided to take a hiatus, and then we decided to launch our own independent solo careers. And so I'm very grateful that, with the training that I've had, or with the experience that I've had with Universal Music, that, I have gained a lot of network and wisdom and experience from all that, so that when I actually launched everything, I kind of, even if I don't know, I kind of knew who to ask, and I kind of know who I would gel well with musically and creatively, in terms of my visuals and stuff like that. Because nowadays, like, the visuals and the audio they kind of go hand in hand. So you want that to kind of match up and be coherent as a story, as a whole, as a thing, as a brand. And so I think for me, the most unexpected thing is I didn't expect to get pregnant at this time. So I give myself a little bit of a pat on the back for, having shot 2 music videos 4 months pregnant. And
amazing.
yeah.
Incredible.
And yeah, so and then I'm planning on releasing one more song before the end of the year, before the baby pops. Yeah.
About that
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.
Your journey. So you were talking about that transition, right? We're talking about that, and how is there a distinct difference between the Robynn of Robynn and Candy and the Robynn, the solo artist that you talked about telling different stories? Is there a distinct difference between the two, do you think?
I think the songs that I've released this year, Lost Forever and 5th of May, they're both very personal, super kind of diary and personal journal type stuff. And they're all in English. And it's kind of strange for a local Hong Kong canto pop singer who's always sung in Cantonese to release English songs. But this year, I just kind of see it as a cleanse. I just want to I just want to do me. I just want to release my songs the way I wrote them, which is in English. I've always written a lot of English demos, and they usually, what happens is that they get translated, or they get another set of lyrics in Cantonese, which is the language in Hong Kong. And I love that too. It's a very different experience. But this year I just thought, I have the opportunity to do whatever I want. And so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna, do this in my own timing, and I'm gonna, just be my own boss for a little bit. So I'm very excited for this journey, and it's not gonna be easy, but I think that I'm just really enjoying the process, and I'm just really looking forward to what else I can create.
Yeah,
With this
absolutely.
opportunity. Yeah.
And I'm sure all of us are looking forward to that too, to seeing how this new stage, what is this going to look like, and what exciting things are going to come from your musically as well. But I do want to talk about your personal style. I want to know how you would describe it. How would you describe your personal artistic style?
I think right now, at this point in my career, I think this year, it's very folk pop. Like, I think it's like I would consider it folk pop this year, just because I am very lyric oriented this year. I just start off writing with a keyboard or a guitar, or just very acoustically, and I think that that is where I feel the most genuine, where I feel like I'm telling my story. But I've definitely ventured into other genres as a duo. We've done a lot of, they're all pop, but then there's like some rock elements here and there. There's some electronic elements here and there, but we started off pretty easy listening too. Yeah. So it was a whole development. And I think that as an artist, it's nice to have that development. Yeah, it's nice to have like kind of a core of knowing who you are and knowing what your main thing is, but then to evolve and like kind of reshape yourself and like kind of change yourself and challenge yourself to expand your kind of library of possibilities. I think that in itself is a very fun process, and it's also for your audience, it's also more exciting and less expected.
And I think it also is goes back to that idea about it being a journey, right? I mean, music is a journey. The creative process is a journey, and life is a journey, right? So it's kind of like, you know, what happens in your life is going to impact what happens in your art. But that style, the folk, what did you call it? Folk pop folk?
Yeah, I would call it that.
Was this something that you decided intentionally, or was it kind of, like you said, was it more organic, or was it like, I want to go in this style because, you know, I want to tell my story in this way?
Completely organic. Sometimes it's like, I'm very strange. It's like if somebody tells me to write something mellow, I would write something really groovy. And then like it's just my left and right brain, they just don't listen, they just don't agree. Like I just kind of go with what I kind of end up writing. And then when I write something, sometimes it's like it's very obvious that that is just blah. That is just going to be shelved forever till the end of time. And then there's some times when, you know, Lost Forever is actually one of them. I wrote it and then I was like, I want to release this. I love this. And so it kind of came very organically. And I think that this year, with so many crazy things happening in the world, I just really wanted to be genuine and authentic. And I just wanted to be, yeah, I didn't calculate. I just did it. So.
That's, well, and I'm glad you did, because that song is beautiful, absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I'd love to know, what advice would you have though for aspiring singers who want to craft their own personal style but really don't know where to begin? I mean, you talked about it as being an organic process, but you know, how do you start that? You got to start somewhere. What advice would you have for aspiring singers?
I think it starts with exploring what it is that you like. And what it is that your instrument can do. Sometimes they don't align. Sometimes you like something and then but you don't necessarily, you know, sing, you know, or you don't necessarily, your instrument doesn't naturally go that direction. So I think it's a lot of not really thinking about style to find out what your style is. The main times, the moments when I really felt like, oh, this is it, or this is who I am, it's not because I was searching for it. It was because I was enjoying the moment. It was because I was just doing it for fun, doing it because I loved it. And then the second part is just the self-assessment part. You do all these things that you kind of like and you kind of enjoy doing. And then you look back at it and then you're like, this is probably, like, you know, I love Adele, but I cannot sing like Adele, for example. It's just, you know, some self-assessment involved. So I think the enjoyment comes first, self-enjoyment, and then the self-awareness and self-assessment comes next.
Yeah, that's so true. You know, that the best things usually happen when you're not searching for them, right? And when when you let that come to you, as opposed to like forcing, like, I must be this style because that's what I listen to and that's the person I've grown up and admiring and I want to be as good as that person. But maybe doesn't enhance like your personality or the way that your instrument was built, and that would be a shame, to force your beautiful instrument and not show the world what your natural instrument truly is capable of doing, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to, so I want to switch gears a little bit here. You know, the world that we live in right now, COVID has really impacted many careers, right? Many industries. So as a professional in the music industry now, how do you feel COVID has impacted you and your colleagues? And what are some of the things that you see artists and producers doing now that's different to navigate through this situation?
I think a lot of people are bringing a lot of things online. And so there's a lot more activity online, a lot more opportunities online, especially with just COVID plus pregnancy. You're just extra paranoid. So I think the FOMO bit just kind of took care of itself because it's like nothing is going on. There are no gigs anywhere except
Yeah.
for Taiwan. I'm so jealous of them.
Oh, right,
They're
right.
having stadium concerts,
I
and then I'm just like,
saw.
oh my gosh, I want to go to a concert. I miss the,
Oh
yeah,
my
but
God, the live music just
yeah.
blow
So
my mind.
I think, yeah, so it's just a lot of it can be done online. I've been doing a lot of my promos online. Obviously, the strength of it and scope of it would be different, but then, you do what you can and you just try to stay positive and have a good attitude about it because that's ultimately you do it because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
You don't do it for I mean, fame is a side effect, I think, and it's also very fleeting, and it's also not something that you want to kind of hold on to because you will end up feeling easily very helpless and very, very, and then you will just lack motivation, and then you will just not want to do anything. But if ultimately, if you just love music, then you just do the best you can and then you just enjoy the process. And so I think it's not necessarily different now than it was before. It's just that now a lot of it is online. A lot of it is anybody can put their videos up on their social media. You don't have to wait for a label to take care of you. You don't have to wait for a stage to perform on for potentially millions of people to watch you. So I think there's there's a good side to it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, I'd love to know if you could travel back to 2012 to your younger self, or 2011. 2012 is when you first
I would
launched.
not want to do that.
If you could for like a couple minutes,
Okay.
what is one thing that you would say to your younger self?
Just quit doubting yourself so much. Just stop with the second guessing. Just, yeah, I did a lot of that. You would know. And the thing with being also just um, like a duo is that a lot of times you compare yourself or other people compare you guys, and then you kind of are placed in that mindset of like, oh, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. And even as a solo, I think everybody goes through that where you just feel like, oh, you have to be more like this or more like that, or and then you forget to appreciate your instrument for what it is. And so I think this time, like within this year of doing solo music for the first time in a long time, well, actually, for the first time, pretty much, you can just be like in a proper professional setting in a studio and stuff.
Right.
Like you can just be you. You can just let your instrument speak for itself, and you can just put your emotions in there and you put your story in there, and that is good enough. And I think that um, it's something that the 2012 me did not appreciate enough of. Yeah.
I thank you so much for sharing that. It's true. That's one of the things that we had talked about as well. That those feelings that you described, that feeling of doubt, that feeling of I'm not, I don't, I want, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. My voice, I wasn't talented, I wasn't born talented. I don't have enough of this or whatnot. These feelings actually is universal, whether or not you are a experienced singer with years and years of experience, professional experience, or you're a beginner singer, or you're an intermediate singer. We all across the board know what that feels like. So you are not alone. If you're feeling that way, if you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling like I don't think that my voice is good enough, don't underestimate yourself, because it's amazing what you can do if you just kind of get over that mindset and know that all of us feel the same way. We are all feeling these things, right? So I hope that this, thank you so much for. I'm sure that you have inspired many that are watching right now and that will watch the replay later on as well. Thank you so much for sharing all of that and being so candid and honest with your experiences. But before we wrap up, I do want to know. Motherhood is just around the corner, I know, right? Congratulations again. And what else is coming up for you that we can all look forward to?
I am looking to release my third single before the end of the year. And yeah, and I've already started recording for next year, but in the meantime, I'm just, because of my pregnancy and just the upcoming motherhood, I'm so lost, and I'm just feeling like, okay, whatever happens, I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna continue on my journey in music, but then I'm just gonna take my time. I'm just gonna chill and not give myself too much pressure. But I do have a music video shoot coming up, and I do have a third single coming up. So that is kind of my next thing, or my last thing on my 2020 music checklist.
Yeah.
So that is something to look forward to for
You're going to
me.
be filming in the coming up.
I'm going to take a very small role, but and hopefully I'm not going to be like full size. I'm just going to be like this, hopefully. But yeah, that is something that I look forward to still. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Let me just jump in and see if there's any questions as we were chatting here. Shafin was saying, Shafin is telling a story about Kathy, who had something happen when Bobby Taylor's birthday, and the mics weren't on. The next song was supposed to be too fast, and then and she was saying the final song, mics turned off. Craziness. And then Randy Jackson's, Michael Jackson's brother, was in the audience. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
A lot of pressure there, right? Thanks for sharing that, Shafin. Shafin is an Inner Circle member, which you will chat with her later on too. Awesome. And then Chloe says, I want that muscle. Oh my God, how long training time is needed? Chloe, you are on your way. I'm telling you right now, Chloe's in the Inner Circle. You are on your way, girl. Okay, this is a Facebook user says, you mentioned before you didn't have the confidence. Was it not having confidence because of the voice, or did you feel that, was it belief in yourself? Was it the extensive training that helped you build that confidence?
Definitely extensive training helped build confidence. Believing in the fact that every step you take is a step in the right direction definitely helped. But I think my personality is, if you ask Crystal, you will know my personality is just like, I'm just really hard on myself, and I treat myself very poorly mentally. Like, I'm just very harsh. So I wish I could change that default setting of myself, which is the lack of just insecurity and, lack of confidence and introvert and just all of the above. But I think with just extensive training and just feeling like you can control, there are several ways to sing a certain line, for example. There's a certain voice, chest or head or mix that you can use for a certain note, for example. Those things could give, those tangible things for me, they gave me confidence because of the training that I've done, that I was like, oh yes, I put in the work, and this is what I can do now, type thing.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I think that also what you mentioned before was huge. The self-awareness, self-assessment, those things are so important as well. Shafin says she loves what you said this year. Many of us do like different styles, but it seems that people see you as confused. And if you try different styles, then people can see you as confused. Yeah, sometimes that can happen. Okay, so great. Shafin, we still have the Inner Circle group, so you can also pop in your questions there. Anybody else here? So what's going to happen is, thank you so much, Robyn, for sharing and for spending your time here with all of us. I'm sure that you've inspired me all over again. And, I'm sure that you're going to be inspiring many people who are in here right now, or who are going to catch the replay later on. So what's going to happen now is we're going to jump into part 2 of this interview session. Part 2 is an exclusive content for our Inner Circle members only, and Robyn's going to give some feedback to some of the singers from the Inner Circle group. So Inner Circle members, if you're watching right now, you're going to check on to the Facebook group, or to your Mighty Networks, the YouTube link to check this, to check the live stream for part 2. In the meantime, thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Robyn, for being here.
Thank you, Crystal.
And again, if you want to join us, if you want to check out the free training for the bootcamp before all the videos get taken down, click on the link in the box and you'll be able to join in our Facebook group and check out all the replays, and join me for one more training tomorrow morning for the bootcampers in that group. And then, of course, there's a couple links there too. If you want to check out Robyn's recent two single releases, they're beautiful songs. They'll get in your head. I was singing them all day yesterday in my head. I was playing them again and singing them in my head. like in your head. Beautiful, heartfelt stories. Thank you all so much. And then I'll see you guys next month. Thank you so much, Robynn.
Thank you, Crystal.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.